Hello, welcome back. Sorry we had a battery failure there. We're now back in business. So I'm just doing Money Penny at the moment. I've just managed to zoom in on her follicles, and you can see that she's got quite small follicles. She is a pastel 100% double het orange ghost hide. I'm just going to close her back. Mandy's frozen the screen, and her follicles are very small. Can you see these black balls here? Now if I go to measure and press set, then select distance, set, I should be able to see how big these follicles are by actually going to the edge of the follicle, pressing set, and then I go down to the end of the follicle, press set, and then I go to the other angle as well, and I go to that angle just to get an average diameter, and that's given me 8.4. So that tells me that her follicles aren't quite big enough, so I probably would give her a few more weeks before I put a male to her, because she's still building those follicles, if that makes sense. So we'll just wipe her down, and then we'll see if we can try a different animal. Let's clean you up. Don't want to leave you with that gel on your body. Sorry, darling. Thank you for being so well behaved. So it's good to get an idea of where the girls are, because I could be putting a male to her and wasting the male, because she's, she needs another few more weeks to build those follicles, and we'll probably measure her next month and see when she gets over 10 mil, we'll be able to go on to the next one. So what I'll do is I'm just going to grab my pen and paper. So I'll record the size of the follicles as we go. So that one was Money Penny. So Money Penny I've got down here is 8.4 millimeters. Let's try the Dreamsicle girl. I think we'll try next. And she's Peach. Let's have a look and see whether she's available. Right, let's have a look at her. And as you can see that she's actually in deep shed, so we're not going to disturb her. We'll wait for her to shed out before we treat her. But she's 2,100 grams, so she's physically big enough, but it'd be interesting to see whether her follicles are big enough yet. So we'll come back to her another time. So there is one quite big girl in here that I'd like to have a look at, which is Queenie. She's 2,700 and she's a mature female adult. So if she'll behave herself and let me check her, we'll give that one a go. And I'll just put that hide back in for Money Penny. There you go, darling. Just put that back in there for you. Now she normally is at the very front of the rub, so I'll get my hook. Let's see whether she'll let us ultrasound her, see how she is doing. There she is. Now she's on the top of her hide, and this could be a little bit tricky, but we can try it. Come on, girl. There we go. There you go, babies. Now what they recommend is they recommend that when you do the ultrasound, you kind of have to make sure that the body of the female is as straight as possible, the last third. And let's have a look and see whether we can find any follicles on her. Let's put some gel on there. And let's see if she'll let us do this now. Right, let's have a little look. Can you unfreeze the screen, man? Press freeze, yeah. Okay, let's see whether we can see any. Can you see anything there? Any follicles? Sorry? Anything there? If you see anything like eggs, can you just freeze it? Thank you. Right, she's got follicles, which is fantastic. That was found quite quickly, so she did us proud there. So this is a good example of how to get it right. I think for the last couple I've been struggling because younger girls are harder to find follicles because they may not be fully mature. But this girl is about 6-7 years of age, and she behaves herself for me, which is lovely. I'll just push her back, and then we'll just see how big her follicles are. And then, so what we're going to do, just got to be careful, I don't want to get any gel on the computer. So I'm using a lot of tissue here. Now you can see much clearer. Can you see the follicles much clearer here now? Mm-hmm. Zoom in on those. So let's just have a little look and see how big they are. So we go to measure, press set, distance, press set, and then let's see whether we can get these measured. Let's press set. I think actually once you press distance, you may not have to keep on going to the distance button. I think you can just carry on going. I didn't like that. Let's do that again. Measure. Let me just go. No, I'm doing this all wrong, aren't I? How do I cancel what I want to do? Clear. Let's press clear. There we go. Press clear. If you make a mistake, press clear. Let's try again. Set. No, you've got to go to measurement first. So measure, distance, then you go to the edge of your follicle, and then you go to the other edge, and then you go from that edge to that edge. And let's see what your average diameter is. So we've got 9.2, so she's actually doing quite nicely. So she's just below what she needs to be. So I'll just put down, let's see, we went for, that was Queenie, wasn't it? Have I got her on my list? Yeah, Queenie, so she's 9.4. So we'll give her a couple more weeks and see how she develops before we put a male to her. So when you come off there, you can also count the size of the follicles, but the number of follicles. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 in just a very short part of her body, but she could be having up to 10 for all I know. So if I was to run that probe all the way down from 1/3 below her bladder all the way down towards her tail, you could also count the number of follicles that she's carrying as well, which can be quite helpful. So we'll unfreeze by pressing the freeze button, and I'm thinking about trying Sienna because she didn't go for us last year and she is a big girl. So should we have a go and see if we can do Sienna? She's a cinnamon 100% het pied, and she's hopefully going to give us a panda pie clutch, and we might have to just straighten her out a little bit. Come on girl, there we go, this way, there you go babies. And she's very, very wide. Look at the girth on her tail there, man, you can see it? So let's see whether she'll let us probe her. So if we go in from about here, you tell me if you see anything. Can you see anything in there? Any follicles? No? Nothing there?
Nothing there.
I think I'll put a little bit more gel. I think sometimes putting more gel does help. Right, see? That's better. Let's see whether that's going to help us see if she's got any follicles there. Oh, there we go. What can you see? Anything there? See the rib cage? Can you see anything? Oh, what's that? You see some really large Something large going on there, quite large follicles I think. Let's see if I can get those back. Right, can you see anything there, Matt? No? Just got to get the angle of the probe right. I think it's experimentation. What have we got there? What's that? Can you just freeze that for me a second? Looks like a big egg, isn't it? Can you see that? If you put the camera on there, Mandy. Yeah, it's important to keep focused on what we're looking at. Even though you want to look at it, the camera's got to be looking at it. So look, you can see there's a big shape there. I'm just wondering whether she's more developed than we think she is. What do you think? It looks like a big egg to me. When they get really big, let's just measure that and see how big she is. I'll just put her back a second. She's over 3,000 kilograms, so let's just see whether we can measure that egg. Distance. So we'll go from top to bottom. And then we'll go from that side to that side. And that tells me that she is 26.7. She's well progressed. Can you zoom in on that, Band? Just have a look at the egg. 27. So I thought Sienna definitely needs a lock. Now, fortunately, Elvis has been locking to her. So she's had 3 locks from him. But I'll just put it down as 26.7 millimeters. So there you go. So that tells me that she could go in the next couple of months easily, probably early next year. Which is what I thought, because with Sienna, I always thought that she, using my natural judgment, I always thought that she was probably one of the most advanced of our girls. And it's interesting because when you actually do the ultrascan, you see the size of the eggs. We were looking for smaller black follicles, but as they get bigger, they become whiter and different shaped. So they grow into more egg shaped, and you can see the egg shape from that. So I think that's actually quite helpful, because it now confirms my judgment call that probably need to get at least 1 more lock in there, maybe 2 with Elvis, and shoot for those panapides. So that's really exciting. Right, let me see if there's any other girls that we can have a look at and see how they're progressing. So we've got Electra, who's our super gravel. She's quite big. Let's see whether she's carrying any follicles. Here she is. So before we go on to Electra, if you want to zoom in on her, Andy, and just show everyone some snake candy while I just clean up Sienna. Hello darling, look, she wants to eat. Here you go darling, I'm going to clean you up now. She doesn't like. She thought she was being fed here. There we go. We'll put you back and give you a hide. Can you see that she wants to pound? That was her feeding instinct. She thought that she was going to get fed there. And she was ready to pounce on some food. And that's another good sign when you know your girls are still building, is they just keep on pounding, pounding, pounding. So let's have a look at Electra. Now again, she's feeding and pounding, quite a big animal. There she is. You can see the size of her. Just look at the girth on her. She's about 2,500 kilograms. So what I'm going to try and do is straighten her out a little bit and actually look at the lower part of her body. I'll put that over there. Move her around a little bit to there. Here we go. And then I'll put some fresh gel on the probe. If if you can unfreeze the screen, Mandy. That's it. Now if you look at the screen, with very little gel, you see it's black. Watch what happens when I put some gel on there, it goes white. Here it goes. When it comes out, like this, hang on. Is it going white?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what happens, is that when you put gel on there, you get a much clearer image, and when the gel goes low, you don't get such a clear image. So we're going to start about there. Can you see anything, Mandy? I can see some follicles, can you? See those little round circles there? At the top, can you freeze that? Yeah, freeze it. Okay. Now, we'll just clean her up and then we'll measure those. So they're not massive, they're there, but she's carrying a lot of weight, and I'm just going to slip her back. So that's interesting because I'll get her hide back. She's packing so much weight, but her follicles are quite small, so it might be worth just waiting for her to build those follicles a bit more before we put a male to her. So let's just measure those now. Just see how big they are. So we'll go to measure, distance, and we'll start at the top, there, go down to the bottom, there, and then we go from left to right, and they are 9.6. So she's not doing too badly, so she's going to be ready for a lot pretty soon. So 9.6 mil, she's right on that beginning stage, so that's really quite encouraging. The other one I was going to check is Sienna, which is the future wife of Yazoo. You know, we spoke about the grow-ups lately, as the grow-ups go up, where we had that beautiful albino 100% het clown. This is his wife. Now let's just see how she's doing. So there she is, good size. Now I'm going to just move her slightly, won't disturb her too much, and she's carrying a clown, visual clown, and she's carrying 100% het for albino. And again, we'll just unfreeze the screen, man, if you could do that for me. We'll put some more gel over the top, and then you can see the screen's gone white. And let's see whether she's carrying any follicles. So I think if I go in about there, can you see anything at all? Any follicles? There's one there. See that? See the small follicles she's got? They're very small, they're like little marbles. Let's see if I can find. Let's get the angle right. There we go, what have we got there? Is that a follicle there? You see that little round ball to the right hand side? That could be a follicle there. There you go, I can see them. If you can freeze the screen, not yet, not yet. Freeze the screen. It's hard to find it, isn't it? Isn't it hard to find it? a bit more gel. It's not straightforward at all. It really is a challenge trying to find these follicles. And I think the younger the females, the harder it is to find the follicles because they're probably very small. And let's just try again. Is that on there? Can you just freeze the screen down now? Freeze it. There we go. I think I've got them, but they're very small. Which tells me she needs more time. Let's see if we can measure these. Very, very small. Look, you can see them. There's one there. So if I come up to measure, set, distance, to there, from there to there. So we've got, what have we got? Can you see the size? The average? 9.9 according to that. Maybe she's bigger than I think. Okay. Right, one last one we'll do just to wrap up. So I think I think everyone's kind of got the gist of what we're doing here. So I think we'll do Lala. Now Lala is she is a super pastel 100% het pied. She's in pounding food mode at the moment. So let's see whether we can allow her to. Can you see her in there, Matt? Can you zoom in on her? It's quite a good sized girl. And I'll get the probe in. Let's see whether we can. If you want to unfreeze the screen, that'd be lovely. And then we'll get some more gel on here. A lot of the gel ended up going down the side of the probe, so I'm going to just lift that back up, put some fresh stuff on there. There we go. Right, Lala, are you going to let me do this? She knows I'm coming down to her. Let's have a look at you. Okay, look at that. She's showing an interest. You see anything? Can you see anything appearing? See any follicles? It's quite tricky. There they are, they're very small. You can see them just below the spine there. You see those? Little circles? Can you see the little circles below the spine? Let's see if I can just get them up again. They're really quite small, these ones. Freeze that for me. Really, really small. So she's got a ways to go yet. Even though she's chunky, her follicles are very, very small. So we'll just measure those up and give her a clean up as well. Thank you, Lala. You guys have been so patient tonight. First time they've ever had this done to them, and you can see that my snakes are pretty well behaved. Now a lot of people, that when they film these, they go off on runabouts. But at least my snakes are staying in situ, and I think the key is to try and do it in the rubs. I think helps you stabilise it, and some people use 2 people to do it, but we'll just measure these and see how big they are. I think they're pretty small. You can just see the little follicles at the top here. There's a little pearl string of them really. let's press measure distance, and then we'll go to the size of the follicle, which is there, to that curve there. So that's 8.3. And we go from here to there, and then you've got an average of 8.3. So she's the smallest girl so far, and that'll be Lala. So Lala's coming in at 8.3. Moneypenny's coming in to 8.4. Electra's 9.6. Xena's 9.9. Toast 10.7. But Sienna was the one that really surprised me. She's 26.7, which means I think she'd be one of the first to go. If she doesn't absorb the follicles, she'll probably be one to keep an eye on in the next couple of months. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little tour, or long tour, of using the equipment. Hopefully it gives you a feel and flavour of how technology can help us either confirm our judgments or make us look at things slightly different, because we might want to put in males to these girls during October, but I'm going to hold back on a couple of these. So Electra, I'm going to give her another month. I think Lala I'm going to give another couple of months, and then I think we'll probably start with Toast, Sienna, Panda. Those will need locks in the next few days, so we'll make sure we get males into them. And then what I'll do is I'll go through the rest of the collection. We've got 34 animals to check, and I'm hoping there'll be at least 5 or 6 that we can start pairing with. And I'm not going to put the males in straight away. I'm going to be really careful this year to be prudent using those males and see what happens, and see whether we can get locks in on the most effective timing. And Jared will be joining us next week, and we'll go through the Reptile Scan cue cards that we've got, and we'll be showing you how we use those. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Mandy, for being a camera lady today, and thank you for also assisting with the ultrascan. It is a bit of a two-man and woman job, really, isn't it, to do it together. But I know the other thing you can get, just out of interest, is people can get what they call I think you get it on cameras as well. It's almost like you get a sensitive pad that you can put your foot on, and you press the pad and it freezes the screen for you. And it might be worth me looking into getting one of those, so if I'm on my own for any reason and I want to do the ultrascan. It is tricky because you've got the probe on the animal and you've got to keep an eye on the screen, and then you've got, obviously, Mandy's doing the camera work, plus we've got to try and freeze it without moving the probe, otherwise we lose the picture. So thank you. This is our first attempt at doing this. So I know the images, some of them were clear, some of them weren't so clear. I think the only thing will happen is with time we'll get better and better at this, and hopefully we'll be able to ultrascan a lot quicker, get straight on it, get the angle of the probe right. I think that's key. But have a lovely end to your weekend, and we shall catch you next week. Bye bye for now.